good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to Limin with the Professionalz. Limin with the Professionalz is a safe space. It's an interactive platform where we give members of our global community the opportunity to connect on a personal and professional level by engaging in candid conversations about life, love, career, business, wherever the line takes us. So, you know how these things go. Welcome to the line. We hope you enjoy it. We hope it's informative, but most importantly, hope it's fun. I am Ronald Victor. I'm the founder and CEO of LPTS Lifestyle Events. We do this kind of thing. We're doing this since 2008. What we try to do is try to connect extraordinary people in all kind of different fun ways. And from that builds a family of friends who connect in business, connect in life, connect in all other ways. We have couples and babies and all kind of thing coming out of this thing now. So in keeping with that spirit, this is a brand new series now where we're doing it again because we have to be at home behind the cameras and behind the Zooms and these type of things right now. But that doesn't mean we still can't connect. So this is a new way of us connecting with the people that make the brand. Tonight, I want to introduce somebody. I had to give us a few minutes because her resume is long. So let's go. She is a philanthropist. She is the published #1 best-selling author of Amazing Gift, A Journey to Autism Acceptance. She's a global transformation speaker. You hear big words? She's a startup business coach for women. She's a carnivalist. If you don't know what that means, Google it. If you know LPTS by now, you know what a carnivalist is. So don't be disrespectful. She's a jiu-jitsu ninja. And if you think I lie, if you think I lie, Google that too. And she's an all-round inspirational and motivational force. I like to call her one of the hardest working women in LPTS. Welcome to my friend Mcgill, my horse of 7 years and counting now.
What?
Doctor.
Son.
Doctor.
What's up? What's up? What is up, y'all? How are you? How are you? It's me. It's Dr. Ali. I'm super excited to be here with you. And I'm definitely excited to be doing a Limin Professionalz conversation. I'm in the right space.
First. You is the first.
Hey.
I love how we side by side now so they can see how both of we look together. Look,
Hey.
So I want to start off with a conversation that I've had with a lot of people who observe LPTS and the people within LPTS. I always get these weird requests about how to become a member. I didn't know we had a membership program. Tell them how they can become a member now, Ali. And you just do what?
Well, first of all, you got to have the right vibes. You got to have the right vibes. You got to have the right, it's a feeling. It's that space where you could be a professional. Like you can go up there, go and show the work and you all nice and distinguished, but then you reach in a fet and you just yourself. Yeah. And you fun enjoying and you welcoming everybody. And it's just a vibe that we have that it just, there's no words to explain it. It's a feeling. And when you're around us, you just feel like if you reach home, like you reach your family. Mm-hmm. And it was actually a friend that brought me into the group, someone who was closer in the group. And then I came in and I'm like, hey, this is home with other folks who look just like me.
You want to talk about your first time?
No, because I love that is my trademark for LPTS. I love, and if y'all want to hear the story, then you need to hang with us.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know what LPTS means, LPTS stands for Limin Professionalz, the syndicate. And the way that you become a member, like she said, you had a #1, you had to have the positive vibes. Because other than that, you wouldn't connect with the people in here because all of we are always about positivity. Absolutely. And then the next thing is, just like the name sounds, you just come on Lime. And a Lime is not just a party. This is a Lime. A Lime is how we connect, wherever we connect, however we connect. right? So to kick things off, conversation, we were talking about this the other day, and I kind of wanted to continue on it because, again, this is one of the questions that I get a lot from people who observe us.
Yeah.
We talk about passion. Today's topic is about pursuing passion. First of all, what exactly is passion to you?
Oh gosh, no. Passion is a fire. It's an inner fire that it just sets your whole soul on excitement. It's a space where when you're in that it's almost like if you hear a Marshall song and it just hits your soul and you're just like, yes, this is where I want to be. Passion is when you're doing that in your life every single day.
Yeah,
It's like if soka is in your soul when you go to work, soka is in your soul when you're speaking to people or whenever you are talking to your clients. And to me, when I go to work, when I show up wherever I want to show up, I want to feel like it's a carnival inside of my soul.
yeah.
And that's what, for those out there who don't know what carnival, we'll see you into that when we open up the door.
Uh, so we're gonna segue nicely into everything because that's what has happened at a line, right?
Mhm.
How does one identify what their passion is? What are some of the tips you give somebody to identify what that is?
So I always say, actually say, go back to your childhood self and go back to the things that really brought you joy way before adults came and disrupted you and told you not to do those things. Go back to when you enter that space or when you're doing that service that it feels good to you. And then also think about how could it be marketable and how can you make money from it. So a lot of us do the things that we love and or are scared to do the things that we love because we think there's no money attached to it. So I always say, think out of the box, go after something that you're going to enjoy, because if you are not enjoying it, you're not giving your full self and you're not living authentically. And too many of us are working or being out there just existing.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say, follow your passion, follow what brings you joy. When I chose to be an audiologist and a speech language pathologist, even though they were complicated fields, there were still areas that I absolutely, it felt good. I mean, I'm a talker. I love to talk. I think I came out the womb talking to my mom. So when I chose that field, it was definitely like, whatever I'm going to do is going to be something that I enjoy doing, but I want to choose a field that I can make money from. So that's how I ended up being an audiologist and speech pathologist initially, and now moving into coaching, helping other moms with starting their businesses. I enjoy their light when they now know they can create legacy, when they now know that I can do something that's just myself and actually monetize on that. So as you're sitting out there, whether you're young, old, whatever age you are, if you are doing something every day and you're feeling like if you're just losing your soul and you're just existing, then just start thinking of what can I do or what brings me joy, and then how could we start monetizing that? And a lot of us, sometimes we need help through that process.
Yeah.
So reach out for something.
Is there a specific age you're supposed to find your passion, or does it come as a specific time?
I tell you, we have it when we're young. That's the thing. That's what I love. The fact when I was just speaking to, and I'm gonna bring up some of our alignment professionals. We were at Mark's house, and I was listening to the kids came in, and they were sharing about how they want to start a business. They were talking about their business as kids, and I was like, yeah, ladies, let's start your LLC and let's move along with this process because you can start a business at that age.
Yeah.
But what happens is when we were younger and we wanted to do these things, our parents were like, boy, go study a book. Go do, you can't run a business. And they kind of squashed that passion of what we wanted to do when we were younger. So it can start at any age. It's just having that space where we can actually cultivate it, or having the environment that we can cultivate it and see how we can monetize on that.
So yeah, just the younger part of the community. What about the older part of the community who feel they missed the boat?
Them too. Let me tell you, mommy turned 70 this year, and mommy started her brand this year. Mommy is now making masks, and my stepdad, my bonus dad, they have a little business downstairs. They got their LLC. They making masks. They doing embroidery on shirts, and it was such an honor to bring her to my tribe. Because I was saying, for at the age of 70, she can still start a brand. And she's actually coming into my academy every week. Mommy's in my business academy studying and learning. Because she loves the fact that she's like, I wish I had this when I was younger, that I could do some of this. And I don't have to do it all. If she don't want to do social media, she doesn't have to do all of the social media. Mommy just come and tell us and show us her mask, and all of a sudden she got sales. So you can start your brand wherever you are. Just get help.
Yeah. So my personal experience in the Caribbean, our education system, right? By the age of around 13, you had to make a decision that could affect the rest of your life. Our education system is when we were in secondary school, by Form 3, you basically have to pick your career path. At 13, we're really thinking about that, right? So I get my own personal history, right? Form 3, I picked sciences. Because back then, my parents were talking doctor talk, right?
Of course.
They wanted to push us towards being doctors and this type of scientific fields. So I picked science because that's what my parents talking about. Got in there and I was doing well in it. I was getting ones and acing all the exams in chemistry and physics and bio and all this type of thing. But most of that was my competitive spirit. I had 30 other people in the class. I'm not going to be 31st in tests. You had to beat me. So part of that motivation was to not be outside of the top 3 in the class. But was that really what I wanted to study? Here's what now. So I took the SATs and I came to the US to study sciences. So now I'm looking at the engineering track and these type of tracks that are science oriented, because I kind of figured I like computers. Went down that track in the first few months of my college experience. Realized that wasn't for me. I moved from sciences, studying physics, chem, bio, incorporating a little bit of computer, to being a business major. What I had to do with all my whole high school experience? Nothing. The content had nothing to do with what I ended up being career-wise, but the way of thinking and the thought process and the way in the Caribbean, when you do math and these type of things, you have to show your work in. Everybody know you have to draw the little line, the column, and show how you got to your answer. So they drill that type of mentality of not just giving me an answer, show me how you got to your answer. What was the logic and all those type of things. And I started applying all those now to my business studies.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And there, I kind of found my passion somewhere in between computers and business. I studied MIS. So that's where I figured my passion was my freshman year of college. And I was able to change my major and focus on what I really love to do. Now, I'm still doing it. You know what I mean? I work in the IT field. I am the one that kind of works in between the business and the IT folks to convert what the business strategy is into some a type of product that we can then sell. You know what I mean? And these type of things interest me. So you can figure out your passion at any age. You just have to pursue it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, just to add on a little bit of that part, a lot of us think because we chose a profession that we can't step out of it.
Yep.
Because sometimes we choose a profession based on influence, based on who's around us and the culture we're brought up under, knowing that there's something else on inside and something else that's bubbling. And then as human beings, we also evolve. Like you may chose one thing at one time and decide that, hey, I actually like just cooking and making pretty things, and decide, but I can't have this one profession on one side and then I have this other thing that I actually enjoy. And what Ron was just mentioning is it's what happens. And I was literally just talking to a client about this, where the steps that we came through in life really prepares us for what we're going to be doing next. Mm-hmm. And you'll begin to learn that your profession or whatever jobs you've had, you learned or you took away a skill or a talent or some little thing that really adds into making you that unique person. When they talk about a USP, your unique service proposition that you may give out there in your business, in your brand, or whatever you may do, a lot of that comes based on your journey and your walk.
Yep, exactly. I get that question a lot. So I'm glad we addressed it, and I'm glad people now that no matter what age, from young to old, you can still discover your passion and you can still pursue that passion. And you have all the resources in terms of friends and family and people like yourself that we can reach out to within this network. And we've proven it time and time again. This network, you can get to anyone in 2 phone calls.
I
So
mean, your network is your net worth. I mean, that's
yeah.
it. That's the real deal, as Holyfield. And your network doesn't only have to be one certain things. It's a combined passion. When we have a combined passion, a combined interest, and that good vibes, a good positive vibes, then that's what makes the Limin professionals.
And the most important thing too is exposure. The more you expose yourself to, the more data you have to make that decision.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So jump into everything that you think might be a passion.
Yes.
Then make the decision. This is not for me. Wait, no, part of this I like, but let me take that piece and put this over here. You'll be constructing your passion the more you expose yourself to.
Ooh, child. Because ain't nobody would have told me that I was going to be anybody's business coach. I'm like, business coach, what?
I could be an assistant coach or something.
And nobody told me just because I sat on Steve Harvey's stage that I was going to be doing all this stuff that I took from that class and now all over these places. No one could have ever told me that, because you were there when I went through that process. I went into autism parenting. I went into all these other aspects, and then people kept asking me, well, how do you start a business, and how do you start a brand, and how do you do this? And I'm just like, okay, let me just show you what I did. And that literally tells you out there that whatever you do, there are people who want to do what you're doing. And you can always turn that into another side gig or side business or something of helping people to learn that skill and amazingness that you are.
And that is exactly what you did with all your 2,000 businesses that you started. You have 5 million clients. Oh gosh, you know, I like to exaggerate.
Yes,
Oh,
I got them on Good Morning America. They all over. They reach.
You're gonna reach there. You're gonna have the 5 million customers just now. You're gonna, and
I will still be a Limin professional.
And I will still be coaching alongside you. Yeah,
there we go.
All right, so we have to bring it up because it was the talk of the last 13 months now. 2020 was rough. You know what I mean? 1 minute we gallivanted on the streets of Port of Spain, half naked, tipsy, enjoying the beautiful soca.
Come back, Ron. Come back.
2020. And then we landed back in the US and everything just went on pause. The whole world went on pause. Businesses shut down. Parents, teachers had to figure out how we schooling these children. Parents turned into teachers. Teachers had to learn about technology. As any age, they had to figure out how to turn their classrooms into something that was online. Everybody had to adapt at a moment's notice, just so, like we say in the Caribbean. What were some of the lemonade you made out of those lemons we were all dished in 2020?
So before 2020, I literally was building a brand that had me in the skies pretty much every other week, speaking and coaching throughout the world. That's how the international speaker really went on to the next level. And once again, for 2020, I was booked. I'm like, okay, it's going great. Visibility is wonderful. Let's keep this going, because when the going is going, you go. And then all of a sudden it's like pandemic happens and we shut down and there is no more planes. And now all these speaking engagements and contracts and agreements we had, we shifted and adapted into virtual. So that was my perfect time to start creating systems and building my systems, working more on my lead magnets and working more on my automation and funnels and all that great stuff, which is called your back end systems of your business, right? A lot of us see the front end of business and we see this, but you don't know, or many of you who do know, to have this, there's a lot of back end structure. And a lot of businesses sometimes fail because they don't set up systems and they don't set up structure. So it was my perfect time to do that because I was home.
Yeah.
So I spent that time really pivoting my business, getting really laser focused, bringing in my coaches to support me, and still making over 6 figures through a pandemic. So to me, it wasn't a complete, it stopped things, but it allowed me to be still and really get clear and to really work on the things that I needed to work on during that time. So I used it to that capacity. And now 2021, we're all set in certain areas because we took the time to work on it in 2020.
Yeah, nice. What one thing besides the business, what one thing would you say was your biggest lesson of 2020 that you learned then, you still apply now, and you're going to take into the future, even past the pandemic? When the pandemic done and gone, you will still use that lesson.
That I am a resilient chick, yo. Like I'm resilient, that I can get through a lot.
Mhm.
And even when the odds are against me, I mean, it showed me with being an autism parent that I'm resilient, but being an autism parent and being an autism parent during the pandemic is a whole different, like, I don't have school to send him to. So it really showed me that we can get through a lot with ourselves. And I think a lot of us learned that we are capable of doing so much more than we give ourselves credit for.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take that past this. And the fact that I can easily switch, like if one thing doesn't work, how do I pivot? I can pivot faster through the resilience. So those are the two. I know you asked for one, but it's like being able to be resilient so that I can pivot.
Yeah.
I like that, right?
Ding! That was a gem dropping on the floor. So your book was about your life as a parent of a child with autism. How did the pandemic affect him? How did it affect your relationship? How did it affect um, life in general because of all the changes he had to go through?
Yeah, so as if you don't know, a child with autism or a person with autism don't deal well with changes because they're very routine. They live based on regimen, and our life is successful when we have a routine. So now here's the change of routine. He's not going to school. Every day things were changing, which was even worse. Like the computers would change. One day they'd have one system, and he got used to it. Then they would change it, and he's flipping out every time they change.
Yeah.
So it was rough for us at the beginning. I mean, we're still navigating it because he's in middle school. So they're still having those times of changes. Like this week, they worked on testing. So his schedule was changed again. He's getting better navigating the process, but it still has its moments.
Yeah.
So it was challenging, but yet we got through. The resilience kicked in. He was resilient. I'm super proud of how he handled some moments. He misses his friends, like most of the kids out there.
Yeah.
But he grew up in front of my eyes also. Like he literally shot up, he matured, and I got to actually be present to see some of these things. So that was super, I'm really, really grateful for that.
And for people who don't know what the heck I'm talking about, I have it right here.
Oh, what
This
could
is the
That's the
best-selling. I had to switch it up so they can see it now because the lighting.
I know, right? But they need to see this
Sure.
now. Look what we've got now. It's 2021.
Okay, let me do a screenshot. Wait, badang. Oh wait. Did I get the names in there? Nah? Make sure you get the brand in there.
Oh,
All right.
wait, I can't use.
Yeah, wait, that. Come down a little. Go. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I know you're about 10 business. What is your focus now, Ali? What are you focused on now? Which business do you want to tell us more about?
That right there. It's all about Mompreneurs on Fire. It's all about launching your own brand for 2021. That's my 2021 Life Biz Planner. It's basically a planner that moms will use, or whoever, women out there, or even men. I know y'all be sneaking in. That we use basically to do the management of life and business, trying to run a business while still having a professional or organizing this thing called parenting.
Yeah.
So I really created a system inside of the book of planning and the systems I use. Like people always ask me, I don't know how the heck you do it. Like, how are you doing running these businesses and still parenting autism, and you still have your main investor? And I say, like, scheduling and planning. So I went and I created my own planner, and that's what 2021 will be about. I'll be helping women and moms to actually launch their brand. We'll be using that for a guideline, but it'll be expanding more into how they can do it without losing their mind. Like you can do this and still have systems, have a process without feeling like if you are losing who you are and feeling guilty about not being there for the kids and all that kind of stuff. So we just basically help you to walk through the process. So that's what 2021 is. I got crystal clear in 2020. You know, like God asked, like I literally sat and listened to God and like, okay, God, how do you want me to use all of what you've given me throughout the last few years with just shifting into this business coaching world? And it was literally, I help women to really tap into what their personal brand is, like what makes them so dynamic as themselves, and then show them how to monetize it.
Yeah.
So it's just helping them through that process. And my goal is to help at least 100 women personally through the process.
Okay. Sweet. Well, I enjoyed the live.
Hey.
Yeah. Repeating that resume made me thirsty, so I think
I know, you should have told me. I would have brought my old LPTS cup. Shoot, you're the only one with an LPTS cup. That's a commercial, y'all. So that's branding. That's branding. For those out there that's starting their business, he's trying to do a quick, that's a commercial brand for his business. Like how I dropped my planner, that's another branding.
Hold on.
Yes, that's what I mean by monetizing your brand. I'm just helping y'all out there.
So I really loved how this was like every other lime, every other LPTS lime. This was organic. It flowed. It was informative.
Thank you.
It's like our limes just go through so many different phases all within a couple of hours. And this is the kind of vibe that I want to make sure people get to see one-on-one. And I really enjoyed this lime.
It's alive.
Thanks for coming.
It's alive.
You walk with your hands swinging. You ain't come with no bottle. You ain't come with no cake, nothing but.
Nah, not a thing. Look, I have a Shake Shack. I got lots of other stuff around me, but no bottles. 2022.
I can't drink that. So anyway, tell the people how they can find you now.
Oh my God. So you can always find me at draliGriffith.com. You see my name right there on the Zoom screen. It'll be downstairs at the bottom if there's show notes. You could definitely join my squad, my Facebook private group at joindrali.com. That's where I give daily business tips and constantly just infusing you. Yep. So definitely stay part of the tribe. I'm on IG, Facebook, all at Dr. Ali Griffith, because my branding is in alignment, y'all.
It's all over. She is on every one of my feeds.
And you'll probably start seeing me pop up in your feeds now, because you see, because I do like, I have fun with this, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Have fun with what you do. Have fun. Bring that passion.
Passion. That's already the topic of the day. You see, I tell you, it with a blending and what do they call it? Blend up and thing up. You see how it just
like a pillow.
The topic of the day just sticky in everything we talk to today. You know what I'm saying? Find your passion. Expose yourself to as much as possible to define your passion, and then pursue your passion. That's the talk of the day. Thank you for Limin.
With the professionals.
Yeah, as usual.
It's always an honor. Thanks, guys, for listening.
Yep, like that. Yeah. So talk to you next time.
Until next time.
On the next Limin with the professionals. I ain't gonna tell you who come in next. Just had to stay tuned. This will be featured on all the LPTS social media, on Facebook, Instagram. What else we have? IG. IG is Instagram. Twitter. Follow us at LPTS Lifestyle on all the social media. Facebook, Instagram. On Twitter, it's RGVictor79 though. Right? We will post these soon. Thank you, Ali.
Bye.
You want to do
you want a clean recording for this topic? You recording, or you just gonna edit? You want work, right?
You know you're talking to her.
I need to send you my daggone videos that need to be clipped. That sucker be taking work. I'll be like, too much work.
Well, when this thing done, Eva Duvernay gonna be calling me.
I know, because you're pretty good at that. You're really good at branding. you are a boss in branding. I definitely have to give you that. In visual branding, you're really, really good in that.
Yeah. I'm gonna sex it up, don't worry yourself.